Promotional consideration paid for by the following.
This YouTube video is sponsored by StoneAgeGamer.com. StoneAgeGamer.com is your #1 source for everything related to your retro gaming experience, including new controllers and accessories from Hyperkin and Retrobit, as well as the complete EverDrive line of products by Crix and the complete Terra Onion collection, including the Mega SD and the Super SD System 3. Visit StoneAgeGamer.com today. Use the link down below in the description, and thank you for your support. What's up, y'all? Twin family, back at you again. And as always, I'm your host, John Schaefer. We have some thing from Stone Age Gamer. It is the EverDrive GB X7. Funny story with this. This is actually going to be my next project after I did the PSIO. However, the PSIO keeps getting delayed in shipping. So it's not Stone Age Gamer's fault, by the way. And I'll get to that in a second. Basically, I had it on pre-order for a while. And 3 different times I was told that, well, they're supposed to be shipping it to us. We should have it next week. Same thing every 2 weeks, it seemed, for at least 3 times I've asked. The 3rd time, I was like, look, just refund me into store credit because it wasn't Stone Age Gamer's fault. And I got this. I had 40 in credit, and I paid $114 out of my pocket for the PSIO, which came back to me as store credit. Basically, the situation was they kept, the shipping kept being delayed. I don't know if it's maybe because of the virus overseas, even though these are coming from Australia. I don't know. But it was like 3 different times that Stone Age Gamer was told by them, oh, yeah, we're going to ship them out next week. We're going to ship them out next week. And it was about 6-7 weeks at this point when they basically said, well, this is what we got told, and we asked them for a tracking number. They haven't even sent it to us yet. And Australia's about 10 days to the US the way it gets sent to Stone Age Gamer. So I was like, you know what? After that PlayStation debacle with J2, I was like, look, just give me the store credit because it's not their fault. I don't want them to be out of sale. And there's plenty of stuff I can get Stone Age Gamer anyway. There's still more stuff that I'm going to get in the months to come. As I rebuild my collection, but I know they've had this issue with but they have this issue with the PSIO, and they've also had that issue with Terra Onion with his stuff. But what's kind of sucks is that some people don't understand that Stone Age Gamer has to wait for their stuff from the distributor. But a lot of times when there's a delay or it doesn't show up or whatever it is, there's people that will curse them out. There's people that'll complain about the store. And it's not the store's fault, because if that happens to you, just email them. Andy's a cool guy. Andy will actually try to make things right with you. And that's what he did here, and he had an issue. And I also had an issue where I tried to use the store credit to order this and I owed nothing. And I actually called him up, and he processed the order right from their brick and mortar store. And they actually have one in Ohio. So anyway, here is the EverDrive X7 for the Game Boy. And this retails for about $154. Now, the reason why it's so expensive is it's 2-in-1. This is for Game Boy and Game Boy Color. And Modern Vintage Gamer actually did an amazing video on how it's a 2-parter, I think. It's how Game Boy graphics worked and then how Game Boy Color graphics worked. And the interesting part is that the Game Boy Color is literally just a regular Game Boy, just with the specs doubled and with color added in, which is how you can make something like this. So we got it comes in a bit box. It's about the size of an oversized like European DS release. You can see it's nice and thin, and it's got the Game Boy images on the back, and it's for the regular one, but it does work for Game Boy Color. As you can see, it's got the gold sticker for the Deluxe edition. Now, they used to have serial numbers on here. I don't know what happened to that, but as always, if you get the deluxe edition from Stone Age Gamer, now if you get the carts themselves, they guarantee it for a year. But if you get the deluxe edition, they guarantee it for 3 years. So, which is amazing, which is good, and it's amazing because, say if Crix comes out with a new one of these in 3 years, and I've dealt with that with the EverDrive N8, as well as the FX Pack Pro. It used to be called the SD to SNES. Where I've bought a product that was, out of date, had the warranty, and I was literally able to return it and get store credit put towards a new one. I did that for the SD to SNES. And they offered that to me for the N8, which I was going to take them up on before, obviously I sent the review unit. So here it is. And we're going to open this up. Important is Stone Age Gamer actually backs up their products, which is why I'm a long-time customer. Always love working with them. There's a sticker here. I don't know when they started putting this big sticker in. I think this is the first time I've personally seen one of these. Get to that in a minute. You got the EverDrive sticker here. And you got an instruction manual, basically the same size as a regular Game Boy instruction manual. Full color, which sometimes Nintendo would do back then. And you got a nice pocket here for everything. So basically for an additional $20, you're basically getting a full color manual, stickers, and a protective case, as well as 2 years added to your warranty. So you're basically getting an extended warranty that actually works, plus a bit box. This is the main event itself. This is the EverDrive X7. And as if you notice, I'm clicking it. And the reason why I'm pressing it in is because the camera can make that out too well. I'm going to try. But anyway, see this button over here? This is actually a... excuse me. This is actually the button for the in-game menu. So what you do is when it's in the system, and by the way, this is the Game Boy Color I'll be working on, or have worked on, and by the way, you are going to love what I do with this shit. It's to the point where when it's done, I'm hoping to see if maybe I can make some sort of a deal with Handheld Legend, where I can actually, sew off my Game Boy, and maybe they can offer it as a package. I don't know. But it's going to look badass. So when the cartridge is inside, you want to go to the in-game menu. You could just press in here on this top of this game thing, and the in-game menu will pop up for the save states and all that fun stuff. It fits in here nice and snug. But there's something else I want to show you. By the way, it has a battery for your saves, and this also has a real-time clock for Pokemon Gold, Silver, and Crystal. And considering this cartridge is, $154 with this whole setup, and considering Pokemon Crystal carts loose go for $60, yeah, it's a better option. Since this is made for Game Boy Color as well, hopefully the camera can pick that up, because sometimes micro stuff is a pain in the ass when it comes to this. But anyway, you see the lip there. And the lip is so when you put it in a Game Boy or Game Boy Pocket, it actually will latch onto that. Because this takes the form of a Game Boy Color cart. But Game Boy Color carts weren't, these, clear Game Boy carts were only supposed to be for Game Boy Color, not the Game Boy. So it wasn't supposed to fit. But this one does. So we got the SD card in here. I have it load up with ROMs. It's the same way that you load up the EverDrive. Since this is the X7, make sure to get the X7 BIOS. So, yeah. Anyway, I'm going to turn this on. Hopefully it shows through on the camera because, the Game Boy screen is reflective. I had to do fat sorting on here. But we're going to show Game Boy Color game first. I would show Pokemon usually, and I'm going to do direct captures of these. I just got to get my GameCube up and running. because that's the way I can get captures done. So we have select and start, cheats, ROM info, select only LEDs for cheats. Pop that in, it's going to load. Try to make sure I get good enough light that you can see it on the camera. It resets it. Hopefully I can get a better speaker put in here eventually. But I want to get the shell done first. I don't know why Game Boy speakers are so damn low. It's like when you least expect it, the speaker is high. But when you least expect the speaker's high, but when you want it to actually show off the volume, it's slow. It's low, I should say. May want to get the backlight to hook up to my Alexa, because you can use it as a wireless device. I mean, yeah, you can put use a male to male headphone jack, and do it that way. I got to show that off one of these days. And you press the in-game menu, and you see save state, load state, back to menu. We're going to save the state. And obviously it's going to mess with the sound because, it's not supposed to do that. Oh, fuck, I got hit. So we're going to go load state where I didn't get hit. And we're back. I know it's hard to see. It's Game Boy Color without the backlight yet. Let me see if I can do this real quick. I mean, I know the sound's fucked up because of the save state. But I like it sounding like that. That's cool. I can dig that. You can really hear the background instruments. Somebody, one of y'all chiptune one of y'all chiptune artists, y'all need to work on that like immediately. That looks badass. Now it's gonna go back to the menu. Eventually, I want to show this on a Game Boy, but also. See here. Oh, by the way, it has a LED light in here. I just noticed that looking at the reflection on the case. We're gonna go to Game Boy real quick. Trying to get a good angle so you can see it. I'll put it on the gray palette. I mean, the screen is sharp for what it is. I mean, that TFT reflective is sharp as hell. And it still holds up today. But the whole it being reflective and you need a light source kind of sucks. It's one of the reasons I'm working on the Game Boy Color first, because for a complete backlit screen, I wouldn't mind so bad doing it on a Game Boy Color because, well, it's in color. I'm a little more trepidatious about doing that for the original Game Boy, but I know I know one day I'm going to do it. I just got to figure out how I'm going to do it, because I got the Game Boy Advance in mind to do as well after this. But the X5 for the Game Boy is like $100, so it's not that bad. And also the fact that Crick says, at least not for right now, he's going to make an X7. I think the only way to do an X7 is if you include a rumble pack, or you include a what the hell is that? A accelerometer, like they had in Yoshi's Topsy Turvy and what the fuck is that? WarioWare Twisted. Let me see something. I think it's under Game Boy Color. I also want to show Super Game Boy in here when I get the Super Nintendo. I wonder if it's even on here. Hopefully it'll work on here. Some of these ROM hacks are hit or miss. Oh, it actually works. Huh. That's cool. By the way, I recommend you guys play like the Super Mario Land color version, as well as this one, which is Super Mario 2 Deluxe. Because the color palette here is very good. They did a really good job with it. Like, it literally looks like something Nintendo could have whipped up themselves. I don't know how well it's showing up on camera, but it's nice and sharp, and the color is nice and crisp. There's no color bleeding like there was with the Super Mario Land one. I mean, this looks professional. Like, wow. Like, I would have loved to see Nintendo actually release this. I played this before. I've actually beaten it. So, the color version, I mean. But then we're going to go back to menu. And there you go. So, all in all, not a bad product for the price. I've used this quite a bit. I'm just getting it back now. But I'm still working on the EverDrive N8. So that there's going to be direct captures of that to come. But there's also going to be direct captures of this as well. Trying to break down by chip because Game Boy's a little more tricky to do that. And yes, there were different chip types for the Game Boy. So I definitely got to put that out there and take a look at this Game Boy Color. This atomic purple, excuse me, that's what I get for eating before I do a video. I'll maybe putting in the backlit screen, and the sensor's probably going to go over here in front of the COM port, or it's probably going to go here. Actually, probably putting it here might be better since I can use the COM port. And yes, there are reasons to use the COM port. Eventually, if I do find a Pocket Pikachu 2 for a good price, I can use that. Also, you can trade high scores with a Super Mario Deluxe. That's one of the reasons to have the clear shell, because it allows me to plan out better what I'm going to do. So like I said, I'm probably going to put the screen has like a brightness controller. You just touch the top of the screen. Probably going to put it here because there's nothing there. So basically this thing's going to get a complete overhaul. New shell, new buttons. Start and select might be the same because I don't think they have replacement buttons for that. At least different colors. This screen's going to be a little smaller because it's going to have the TFT screen in it. You know, the not TFT, the Chinese screen that they have with the smaller screen size but same pixel resolution, and then the touch button. I don't want to reveal too much of what I'm going to do, but I guarantee you guys are going to like it. And when I get it done, I guarantee you I'll have you guys coming to me, asking me what I did, where I got it. And that's one of the reasons I'm telling you I'm working with Handheld Legend on this one. And I'm basically going to do a special version I think Nintendo should have done years ago. I mean, I've seen a lot of impressive Game Boy Colors, especially from 8-bit aesthetics, as well as a few other places, but none like this. I seen a Game Boy Color, not Game Boy Color, I seen a Game Boy Advance that was similar to what I'm going to do, but, and it looked okay, but I think I can do better. But I had the idea before I saw that picture, so I'm hoping to maybe, you know, once it's all done, have kits ready-made like Retro Modding does, so this way, once you see the YouTube video, you can go on their page, you can buy the kit, and you can have it sent to your house, and you can do this yourself. Now, I'm not going to actually put this together. I don't have the patience, and while the screen is drop-in, I'm afraid of having dust left in the system because I didn't actually wipe, you know, like do the compressed air enough. Sort of OCD like that. I don't trust myself. I'd rather pay the money, have a trained professional do it, but You know, be great publicity for his store, great publicity for the place that I'm going to get the parts. Sometimes I'll get review copies in, like I did with the EverDrive N8, but mostly I'm paying for this out of my own pocket, more to document it, if anything else. And I don't mind actually using it to plug the places where I got it, because things that are awesome need to be shared. They're not just for, hey, look, you know, look at me, you know. But I want to show you guys where I get it, how I did it, things like that. So, different projects in the timeline, you'll notice that, you know, but I'm hoping y'all guys come with me and do this shit and follow along as I do. I mean, there's no reason to be sitting on these anymore, hoping to fully do it. So that's why I'm just going to get it done. So until we meet again,